Hello everybody, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me for a new Studio Monday featuring the Simon Says stamp Peace, Love, and Belly Rubs stamp set. I'm going to be coloring this stamp set today in a no-line watercolor technique, and I'm going to show you how I created this fun holiday card using this adorable stamp set. And did you know these puppies that are included in the Peace, Love, and Belly Rub stamp set are all inspired by dogs that Simon Says Stamp employees have. All of us at Simon Says Stamp have a real deep appreciation and love for all of our furry animals that we have in our families, and so we really wanted to make sure that we highlighted those beloved critters in a stamp set. So this is where the inspiration for the Peace, Love, and Belly Rub stamp set came from. And it makes me really happy to be able to use this set because I know all of the puppies in this stamp set are loved. And while I may not be a dog person, I appreciate dogs, but I love my 4 cats that I have at my house. Alright, so we are going to get started by stamping this cluster of dogs from the Peace, Love, and Belly Rub set onto some Strathmore watercolor paper. I'm going to stamp this with fog ink because this is a great light ink that is perfect for no-line coloring. And because I'm using watercolor paper, I find that the slightly darker ink is a little bit better for the no-line coloring because of the texture on the paper. Alright, so I'm going to take my watercolor palette here, which is just a mix of different watercolors from Daniel, Smith, and Prima. And I'm going to start by spritzing the palette first to get the colors wet and a little bit more fluid, which makes it easier for me to color. As I'm coloring, I'm using a small brush. This is a number 2 round brush. And throughout the coloring, I'm just going to apply down a little bit of color in the areas that I want to be the darkest, and then I'll blend that out with just some plain water that I have on my brush from the little bucket that I have on the right. This makes the coloring super easy, and it also makes it go by really fast because there are a lot of puppies to color here. Now, in some cases, I did want to alter some of the colors that I am coloring with. So if you don't have a color that you want to create, make a wash of another color underneath. So in this case, when I was trying to do that green color on the earmuffs of that puppy in the middle, I just added a little wash of light green first, and then I brought in some darker green on top. And that changed the tone of the color green that I had there, which is exactly what I was looking for. Each of the puppies here are so cute. So this little schnauzer here, he's so darling, and I just love his fun little reindeer antlers on top of his head. We've got this Bernese mountain dog here with a fun, festive hat, and he's holding a jingle bell out inside his mouth. I just really had so much fun coloring these critters. Check out the ones with the little lights around his body. They're so cute. Now, as I'm coloring, as I let things dry, I'm coming in with my same number 2 round brush and adding details on top of the areas that are already dry. Because I'm doing this over top of areas that are already dry, it's allowing me to maintain the detail of the paint that I applied down. Had that area been still wet, it would have made it a lot harder to have a crisp detail like the noses on my critters. So I colored all of these dogs exactly the same way that I just showed you by putting down some color and blending it out with my brush. Afterwards, I brought in some colored pencils, and I'm just adding a little bit of shading into certain areas where I didn't quite get enough with my watercolors. I wanted some slight more detail to some of the areas, so by bringing in a colored pencil with a really nice fine tip, I really get that effect that I'm going for. On the dogs with the light bulbs, there's these cute little strings that are wrapped around the puppies because, of course, they got tangled in those fun little lights, and you know how much pets love to play with Christmas decorations. So I added some little black lines over top of those strings just to darken them up and give them some nice definition. And then I moved on to blending a background with some worn lipstick Distress Oxide ink. I used both a blending tool and a brush to help fade that down towards the bottom, and then I added some splatters of water to give this a little bit of texture. I'll lift up that water with my paper towel here just to give that fun splattery effect, which helps give the effect of snow in the background. Alright, so I brought in some raspberry cardstock from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to stamp down the Merry Christmas sentiment that's included in the Peace, Love, and Belly Rubs stamp set. I stamped it with embossing ink, and I'll heat set that with white embossing powder for that great crisp embossed sentiment. And I'll move on to cutting that down into a little banner shape, and I added a supporting sentiment underneath to finish off the grading. And that's stamped in some cobblestone ink, which is a great complementing color for the coloring that I have in my scene. And of course, this scene would not be complete without some fun snowflakes. So I brought in some of our Simon exclusive snowflakes, the Grace and Leah snowflake, along with one of our snowflakes from the Snow Flurries die set. And I'm just popping those onto the card behind my sentiment and my dogs. And I'll add a couple more here and there with just some liquid glue. And then that's going to finish off those large snowflakes. But I wanted to add a few more little snowflakes. So I brought in this really beautiful glitter glaze. This is so pretty. I have it linked in the video description below. And I used it not only for the white areas on the dog crew, but I also used it to create dots of snow in the background, which are so shimmery and beautiful. They look so pretty and pop off of that background so nicely for that extra little bit of depth for the snowy scene that I have here. So I hope that today's video has inspired you to color this fun Peace, Love, and Belly Rubs stamp set, a Simon Says Stamp exclusive stamp set that is adorable and perfect for creating fun holiday cards. If you'd like to see more inspiration, be sure to subscribe to our channel for weekly videos, and you can head on over to our blog for still pictures and links to all the products used. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back again soon with more to share, but until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye!